Joined by UFC welterweight Mike Malott, who's here in London to corner Andre Fili. Mike, how's it going?
It's been great. Just got out here yesterday, got some good sleep, so feeling like myself again, but yeah, happy to be here.
Well, back to the coaching duties. I know that's something you've balanced throughout your career. Lately, you've focused on your UFC run. You've been absolutely killing it. So how's the balance right now with both coaching and fighting?
It is 99% fighting right now, so I'm mostly just here helping my friend. I've coached Andre, or we've coached each other rather, and worked together for years, so I know his game inside and out. And while I haven't spent a ton of time with him this camp, I've studied a lot of his film, and he sent me all his sparring rounds, and I've studied his opponent a lot. So I still feel like we have a lot that we've been talking about throughout camp. So I understand what he's been doing, I understand what we have to do. So it's just more, a lot of it is here as like moral support, and we've been friends for years and training partners for the past basically 8 years. So just kind of excited to be here with him in London.
Yeah, and like I said, you've been killing it. When did you kind of decide that now it's time to go 100% in terms of your fighting career? Was there a moment that happened? Like, why now?
The pandemic played a big part in that life was slowed back down finally, and I felt like I just was able to see my life from a different perspective, and I thought, you know what, I'm not happy with everything I've done in fighting. I can do a lot more. I'd like to someday look back on fighting and feel like I got everything out of myself, and I just didn't feel like that with what I had done so far in the sport up until the pandemic. So I just decided to give it one more big run, and that's when I started prioritizing fighting over coaching. And now that I'm living back in Canada, I'm doing almost no coaching. You know, I'm helping some training partners out where I can, but for the most part, I'm just training.
Well, clearly the timing was perfect. 3-0 in the UFC, 3 finishes, an incredible moment for you at UFC 289 in Canada. I feel Canada's kind of been starving for a star. Fans have been spoiled a little bit there with GSP or Rory McDonald, but I know lately they've been starving for a star, and you've stepped up for that role. I mean, on the mic with your performances. So how's that kind of feel to be embraced like that by the Canadian fans and be the kind of holding the, just being that guy for them?
It feels amazing. Like, I've been such a big fan of the sport for such a long time, and a fan of like so many Canadian stars, obviously like George St. Pierre, but all the guys coming up, Mark Hominick, David Loiseau. There's tons of guys I looked up to throughout like my childhood and young years as like an up and coming fighter. So to kind of be, you know, put in this position where I get to represent my country, and I got to be like the last fighter on the card, being, you know, having a bit of the pressure of being like the last guy to hold the fort down for the country, but I loved that pressure. I loved that feeling. It was absolutely incredible. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully my next fight being back in Canada and getting to feel that again.
And because you've been putting on these performances, okay, like usually with the UFC, you get these kind of fighters like yourself who do it in and out of the octagon, they kind of get fast-tracked. Are you ready for a fast-track? Do you feel like at this point in your career, rankings, all that stuff, that's what you're looking forward to?
I think rankings make sense next. Obviously, I don't think I'll get a number, like I didn't get a number after the last fight, nor do I think I should have. I think it puts me in a great position to either be fighting a ranked fighter next, or somebody who's almost ranked or was recently ranked or something like that. I think that's the next step, though, is win the next fight and either get a number or be in a position to fight for a number after that.
Do you have a name in mind?
No, not yet.
Because it goes one of two ways, right? You're fighting tough guys that maybe don't have a crazy name value, and then there are the guys who are kind of veterans, maybe aren't on crazy winning streaks, but they have a big name. So do you have a preference in which way you would go?
I think that kind of makes more sense right now, is the latter, in fighting someone who either has been ranked or has been established in the UFC, because, you know, I fought Mickey. Mickey's kind of like an anomaly where he's like a vet and kind of a prospect, but like he was young, but he came up through the UFC. My last 2 fights were other contender series or like short notice guys that are newer to the UFC. So I think probably they'll give me somebody who's a veteran next. That would make the most sense to me. Where they're like, this guy's been established, he's beaten all the guys that are decent, but hasn't been able to beat the elites. Like, well, I think of myself as an elite, so I think I should be able to definitely run through whoever that is, but, you know, we'll see.
Do you have a specific date or a timeline you want to fight?
Call me when you come to Canada.
That's it. So have you heard anything about the UFC potentially returning to Canada?
No.
But this is your push. This is your campaign.
I might have heard some things. I'm not supposed to say anything, but maybe they've been saying, maybe there's some rumors going around.
Okay, but you're the man to fall on that Canada card for sure.
I hope so, man. That's what I want to be able to do. Yeah.
All right, Michael, I appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.